The Top Knot Creative Show, the Top Knot Creative Show. Seeking super smart, super talented superheroes. How to be wow over the world and all around. The Top Knot Creative Show, the Top Knot Creative Show.
Hello everyone, this is Shandae Schrader and welcome to the show where we seek out the super smart, super talented, and basically the superheroes who are taking over the world and making it super wow. Today we are talking with Heather Carson, the co-founder and president of Onboardly. Heather is the ultimate startup cheerleader. She's a feisty redhead and she's known for helping amazing startups tell their story to the world. As the president and co-founder of Onboardly, Heather and her team are dedicated to introducing venture-backed startups to the media, influencers, and networkers with a killer combination of public relations and content marketing. We couldn't be more excited to have her on the show with us. Heather, thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh, what an awesome introduction. Thank you so much. It's great to be chatting today.
Well, I mean, there's so much more that we can tell about you as far as, getting your clients into amazing publications like Inc., Entrepreneurship Magazine, New York Times, Business Insider. Let's go back to how Onboardly got started and how you founded Onboardly with Renee.
Yeah, so I actually believe you spoke with my co-founder, Renee, maybe last week. Mm-hmm. She is awesome, and we have a really kind of a fun story, and it's a matter of a series of happy coincidences that basically brought us together. But, for a while, I was working for a tech startup, and I loved it. But one of the things that I found a little bit challenging was, you've got this great company, you've got this great story and this great product, but, for me, I like a challenge, and I like things to be changed up. And so it got kind of, a little tiring, praising just one company all the time. And I sort of thought to myself, there's got to be a way to do this for more companies and create a business out of it. And so I sort of set off on my own for a couple years as a startup PR consultant, if you will. That ended up going really, really well. I think with anything, and particularly PR and sort of marketing in general, is, when you show enthusiasm for what you're doing and you really, really believe in the companies and products that you're helping represent, that can go a long way, and I think that'll help you be successful. So, that ended up working really, really well for the 2 years that I was consulting. Met Renee at a conference, coincidentally enough, through her fiance, I guess, then fiance, and really hit it off with her. And, she was doing a very similar thing, but just her focus was more on the content marketing, sort of blogging type of space. And we kind of looked at each other and said, oh, gee, if we only lived closer to one another, we could get together and make a business of this. And, she was in San Francisco at the time. I'm on the opposite coast of Canada. And, we're looking at each other going, oh, yeah, too bad, but let's stay in touch. Needless to say, she moves here, literally to my city, about a year and a half later. With her husband, who, like I said, was a friend of mine. And then it seemed like it was too good to be true. So the company was founded a year ago last month, actually. And yeah, really, really happy to have her as a partner and be doing what we're doing.
Well, let's talk about what Onboardly is and what you provide for your clients.
Sure. So basically our entire goal is taking startup technology companies, and the caveat being, companies that are funded to some extent, companies that have really killer products and super cool founders. Because our goal is really to help take those companies and position them for growth from a marketing and communication standpoint. So largely our focus is, helping them attain visibility through PR style activity, but then also build lasting, sustainable resources that position their companies as innovative and their founders as thought leaders. And we do that through the content marketing side. So it's really all-in-one startup promotion from a company that thinks and acts and operates like a startup ourselves.
Now,
does that make sense?
Yes, that does. And to be able to go into that space and then to do it well for a client when it comes to content marketing and public relations online, I think that's incredible skill. Let's talk a little bit about your partnership with Renee, like how that works. What each of you, how you complement each other.
Oh my gosh, we are so alike and so different in so many ways. Really, everything from the way we talk and look and act is so funny because she's a 6+ foot, like, tall, skinny blonde. I am the opposite of that, sort of short, petite, redhead. We look different, we speak differently, we come from different places. But that being said, our focus and our dedication to business is exactly the same. And I find we're on the same page more often than we aren't, considerably more often than we aren't, I should say. She's probably got a slightly more structured approach to doing things, whereas I'm a little bit more a bigger personality, maybe, or a little bit more enthusiastic and sort of fly by the seat of my pants. But I think that's really reflective in our roles too, right? I think you have to work with someone that complements you and doesn't duplicate your efforts. And I think it's been interesting. I never dreamt that I would work with another woman, or certainly be a partner in a company with another woman. Mm-hmm. Largely just based on that, you always hear these rumors, and I will debunk the myth, but there's rumors out there that two women, strong ones particularly, can't work together, and the key to our success has really just been clear communication and who does what and who's responsible for what and who's gonna play what role, and she takes care of the very sort of structured, get things done on a weekly and synchro basis, whereas the PR side of the business certainly has its high highs and its low lows, and it's more emotional, which probably is fits my profile to a T. So it's our relationship is good because I think we both appreciate and respect and truly genuinely love those parts of each other that kind of keep the other one grounded.
I love it. Now let's talk about, you have a very distinct methodology at Onboardly, how you approach plugging in all these various components. So maybe fill our listeners in on what that is.
Yeah, so here's basically where the root of the methodology comes from, is that, in Renee and I's working together in the early days, and even as consultants prior to forming the company, we realized that, every piece of this sort of marketing mix that we've put together played a unique role. So, we call PR sort of the top of the funnel. You can get a great news story written about you or a great feature, and a whole lot of people are going to see it, but are those really the people that are going to ultimately become your customers? Maybe, maybe not, right? And then as you get a little closer down the funnel, you've got, things like content, like strong content marketing, a blog post that was written with a particular audience or particular potential customer in mind. And, that played its role. But, if you wrote a blog post and published it with no PR, no promotion around either the company or the post or the topic, how would that blog post be found? And I think we both were struggling with our unique challenges when, I would do some great PR work, but then, we'd have a ton of traffic one week, and then, you can't replicate PR success week over week over week. It's sort of, again, high highs and low lows. Mm-hmm. And I needed something to fill in those troughs a little bit. And on her side, she's saying, I'm creating this amazing stuff and it's so good, but no one's reading it because, or, not no one, but, not as many people as could be enjoying it or enjoying it because, I'm publishing it to a limited audience. And gee, if I could only get, maybe a broader audience to give me a shot, or give this post a shot. So we realized that where my ebbs were exciting, I needed something to fill in the flows, and vice versa. So when we started to build this methodology, we started asking ourselves, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Like what needs to fall in place first before either or can be more successful? And I think the best part of that was realizing that a really, really strong content foundation would exponentially help me as a publicist, pitch a company to an Inc. magazine, to a Forbes magazine, when they could then go back and see on the company's website, et cetera, that, there is a voice there. There is something that this company stands for, and here it is, and they talk about it all the time. They're eating their own dog food. It's there on their blog, and, that has gone a long way towards improving my success rates from a PR standpoint, and we realized that content kind of comes first, PR comes a little bit later, and then we use social media, of course, as everyone does, as a way to really amplify the work that we're doing, and that falls really into about a 6-month methodology.
Now, let's talk a little bit about being a woman entrepreneur. What would you say for someone who was looking to launch their own company, to find a partner? Any tips and tricks you would give for women out there?
Oh my gosh. I think the biggest thing is just to get out of your own head and forget that you're a woman for a minute. I'm the girliest girl most days of the week, and I think that you should really truly embrace your femininity. Use feel the way you want to feel. Don't be afraid to be emotional if that happens to be your personality set. I am. I think I've full disclosure. I'm the most enthusiastic person on the planet, and I don't think a lot of men identify the same way. So I certainly believe that there's a little bit of a difference in the way that we kind of conduct ourselves just naturally. But I guess that's the biggest problem that I have with sort of the question around women in business is, why is there a difference in how we sort of treat ourselves or even market or promote ourselves. So my only and probably biggest piece of advice is just to get out of your own head and don't let anything that you read on the internet convince you that you need to be treated differently, and just go after the things that you deserve to have based on your abilities and the amount of work you're willing to put into it. I think that your success and anyone's success is directly correlated to the amount of energy and passion that you have for the project that you're undertaking. And whether you're a woman or a man or a really intelligent dog, you can pull off whatever you want to do. So I think that's really the biggest thing. And then certainly as it relates to partnership, whether you partner with a man or a woman or a really intelligent dog for that matter, just making sure that you find a person that you're not afraid, you respect enough not to sweat the small stuff. I notice both Renee and I really tend to try to pick our battles and not just need to be right all the time. I think that's something that strong people, type A people in general, struggle with. But making sure that when you feel like there's a need to argue, if you will, to not be afraid to do that, but also to choose your battles wisely and sort of be cognizant of the fact that this needs to be a long-term thing. Mm-hmm. We committed to, a good 5 years at least when we signed up for this. So I know I have, 1 year in. So, no fights for the next 4 years, no serious ones.
Well, let's talk about that first year of growth and expanding your team, bringing on more people to align with your mission and kind of represent your product and brand.
Oh, scariest thing ever. Hands down. I realize this, and I think about it as we grow more and more, and it's the one thing, believe it or not, the business isn't what would ever keep me up at night. There's certainly our fair share of challenges, and we tackle them pretty aggressively, and, the clients have always been there because we really do turn out great work, so we're very fortunate that that's never been a concern, from a sales perspective or anything else. My biggest struggle and my biggest worry has just been making sure that one, we find amazing people. I like to work for my people, not have them work for me. So I always try to look for people that have that entrepreneurship or, kind of fired and self-motivated style. Because I'm the first one to admit that I'm really not a great delegator. I'm a really, really, really great motivator. Mm-hmm. And, I count on my team to almost delegate to me. I say, here's your job, you own this. Tell me what you need from me from a support side of things or, supporting role. And, they love that because we've managed to find people that don't want to be told what to do every day. They really just want to go and do and be great. But with that comes this whole ultimate side of responsibility that now I'm accountable for the well-being of, in our case, 4 other people. So, if the company doesn't go well or if I make a bad decision and, or I make a bad hiring decision or I make a bad client choice, things could not be so good for them. Or, God forbid, we don't make our revenue targets and I'm not able to provide what they need in order to, take care of their families and whatnot. So I think that is probably the biggest thing, is realizing that now we've got, 4+ people that kind of count on us, mm-hmm. For a paycheck. And, it's a great, great privilege, but by the same token, you respect and care about these people so much that it holds me accountable to doing a better job. I'll tell you that.
Now, what do you envision for Onboardly in the next 4 years?
Oh my gosh, greatness. No, really, our mission and our mandate is to be the really all-encompassing go-to resource for startups when they want to take their product to market. Mm-hmm. And I think that's we would like to have Onboardly be synonymous in the marketplace with startup growth and startup marketing. I think that's definitely well within our 2 to 3 year plan. I would like to have this tomorrow, given my type A personality, but I will wait a year or two if that's what it's going to take to grow over time. But really in 4 years, I really just hope we're doing what we're doing. I hope that we continue to be as lucky and successful as we have been to make sure that we're continuing to churn out really, really great work. And even more important than that, I want to see our clients achieve their successes that they've been working so hard on. So when we see massive acquisitions down the road or massive IPOs down the road, for some of our clients, I want to see those and go, you know what, we didn't run their companies. Don't get us wrong, but we played a part in helping them achieve their success, and I think that will probably ultimately be the greatest reward. And we're seeing some cool things now. Clients we started working with months and months ago, they're raising more money that they need, under better terms. They're getting offers. They're not always taking them, but they're getting acquisition offers and they're making waves, and that's cool. So I'm hoping just more of that in the next couple years. Maybe a vacation would be nice in the next 4 years also. Renee may have told you this, and she loves to tell the story, but the other thing, we have a very significant mission is to get a boat. So we basically would park it off in the Mediterranean somewhere glamorous. Definitely not, the east coast of Canada where I'm from. So we'll go a little further, a little more tropical. Okay. And it'll be a sort of a yacht type of boat. We'd like to think 40, 50 people kind of boat. Mm-hmm. And we'll call it the Hop Onboardly. So that's sort of our pie in the, that's our vision, is to be able to be successful enough to afford a boat.
That's hilarious. Oh, love it.
Yeah.
No,
our team will love it.
Hop Onboardly.
It's not just for us, it's meant to be for everybody. It's a community boat, but it's definitely going to be cool.
I think that's awesome. Now, if our listeners want to, if they have a company, a startup that they would like to work with Onboardly, work with you, find out more about you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, they can definitely connect with us on our website anytime. It's just onboardly.com, sort of how it sounds, onboardly.com. We're also Twitter at Onboardly. So would love to hear from startups that are even just doing anything cool. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily mean that they need or want to work with us tomorrow, but we love to stay connected to the ecosystem and kind of know what's going on. Or they can reach out to me personally, of course. I'm just Heather at onboardly.com, and my Twitter is Heather Ann with an E at the end.
Awesome. Well, for our listeners, we will have all those links and contacts on our website, but go to onboardly.com, check it out. You can view Heather's profile. You can view her co-founder Renee's profile, as well as, we'll have Renee's interview up as well. Heather, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all of your enthusiasm and your excitement.
Thanks. You caught me on a good day. Like I said, we just got back from a corporate retreat with the team, so just kind of firing on all cylinders. So I hope the enthusiasm is showing through, and hi to all your listeners, and definitely I hope they took a little something away from it.
Excellent. Well, I know I did. Thank you again. To our audience, thank you for listening. Now get out there and build something beautiful. Until next time, take care.